These movies and musicals are set in the 1960s and are about segregation. I will be using quotes that say the word Negro. I would like to let you know it makes me just as uncomfortable as you to say these. I would never use a racially biased statement like this, and neither should you. Hello, and welcome to this crazy idea of a video essay. Today I will be breaking down the adaptational changes from the 1988 movie Hairspray, ending with the 2007 movie musical of the same name. So this is the changes in character, plot, and music from the 1988 movie Hairspray to the 2002 Broadway musical Hairspray to the 2007 movie musical Hairspray. I'll also be diving into why some of these changes had to be made in order to translate it from screen to stage to screen. Here's a basic rundown of the plot of the 1988 movie Hairspray. Tracy Turnblad is a plump girl who lives in Baltimore and wants to be on a local TV dance show, the Corny Collins Show. After going to a dance hosted by Corny Collins, she is asked to audition. Her mother, Edna, is worried that Tracy will be made fun of because of her weight, but her father, Wilbur, encourages her to dream big. When she auditions, she is belittled by the cast, but she gets to be on the show anyway because the other two auditionees are rejected. The other two auditionees were Penny, Tracy's friend, and an African-American girl. Penny is rejected because she is deemed too nerdy and is asked how many sweaters she owned. And the African-American girl is told to audition for Negro Day. Negro Day is an important plot point throughout all of the films and musicals. Negro Day is the African-American version of the Corny Collins Show, where all of the dancers are African-American, because the show is segregated. After being on the show for a bit, Tracy is asked what she would do if she became president, and she states that she would make every day Negro Day. After this, she's offered the role of a spokesgirl for the local plus-size clothing store, Hefty's Hideaway. While at its school, a teacher labels Tracy as a hair hopper and sends her to the principal for her hair don't, as it violates the school's hair height policy. Because this is not the first time Tracy has been sent to the principals for this, she is sent to special education. Here she meets some of the African-American students at her school, including Seaweed Stubbs, who dances on Negro Day. Tracy is a big fan of seaweed. Tracy and the special education students must play dodgeball. Amber, a popular girl and dancer on the Corny Collins Show, bullies Tracy during this, and Link, Tracy's crush and Amber's current boyfriend, goes to help her. After school, Tracy, Penny, and Link are invited to Motormouth Maybell's record hop. At the party, Link, Tracy, and Penny and Seaweed sneak out to make out behind the venue. Link with Tracy and Penny with Seaweed. Edna Turnblad and Tracy's mom and Penny's mom, Prudy, follow them, and Penny's mom takes Penny to be brainwashed to not love Seaweed, who Penny wants to be with. Tracy organizes a protest at the Tilted Acres, a theme park owned by the Von Tussles, Amber's parents. This results in a counter-protest and a fight breaks out. Tracy is arrested. Seaweed and Motormouth plan ways to free both Tracy and Penny, Tracy from actual jail and Penny from her crazy parents. The Von Tussles want to sabotage the Miss Auto Show, a beauty contest that both Amber and Tracy are competing in. After protests erupt, the governor pardons Tracy and she wins the contest. Tracy integrates the show, and the Von Tussles plan to bomb the contest if Amber didn't win, blows up in their faces. So, now that we know the basic plot of the original, the next step in the evolution is the 2002 Broadway production. The changes to the original to the musical are mostly to make the plot flow better and make it easier as a stage production. The main plot change is the change from Miss Auto Show to Miss Teenage Hairspray. And instead of being hosted at an auto show, the beauty contest is now hosted as a part of the Corny Collins Show, as the show is sponsored by Ultra Clutch Hairspray. The second major change is the protest. Instead of being at Tilted Acres, which is not mentioned in the Broadway version, the protest is at the Mother-Daughter Day dance, which is adapted from a similar though not as important plot point from the original. Tracy and Motormouth organize the protest, and Amber and Velma Von Tussle organize a counter-protest. Fight breaks out, and all of the women are arrested. Instead of Tracy being pardoned by the governor, the Von Tussles are, since Velma has been using all of the tricks up her sleeve. So Wilbur pays for everyone else's bail, but Tracy is forced to stay in jail. Link busts Tracy out from jail, and Seaweed frees Penny from her crazy parents. The final change comes in the form of the Miss Teenage Hairspray contest. Instead of the Von Tussles planning to bomb the event, Velma tries to rig the votes, but due to the influx of votes for Tracy, Tracy still ends up winning. Tracy declares the show integrated now and forever, and the musical ends. Bam. Now we're on to the final step of Hairspray's evolution, the 2007 film adaptation of the Broadway musical. Now it is important to note that this version draws not from the original source material, but almost entirely from the Broadway musical. The biggest change is Tracy's audition. She tries to audition, but is rejected by Velma Von Tussle, like in the Broadway musical. However, she is sent to detention not for her hairdo, but for skipping school to go to the audition. She meets Seaweed, who tells her about a record hop that Corny is hosting. After seeing Tracy dance, Corny asks her to be on the show. Instead of a record hop at Motormouth, Tracy, Link, and Penny are invited to a potluck where Motormouth announces that Negro Day has been cancelled. Tracy suggests a march for the show's integration. Link opts out, but the march continues anyway. At the march, Tracy bumps a police officer who won't let the march continue. A brawl ensues, and Tracy flees to Penny's house. There she is found by Prudy, Penny's mom, who threatens to report Tracy to the police. Prudy ties Penny to her bed, something that happens in all three versions of Hairspray. But Penny and Tracy are freed by Seaweed, who is bailed out by Wilbur. Link realizes that he was being a jerk and goes to the Turnblads, where he realizes that he loves Tracy. After this, Penny, Seaweed, Motormouth, and the Turnblads come up with a plan to sneak Tracy into the pageant, because she has been banned from it. And Velma has hired policemen to guard the entrances. Tracy reveals that she hid in a giant hairspray can that they tricked the officers to use as a battering ram. Tracy doesn't win the contest, however little Inez does, thus integrating the show. Here's a quick look at some of the characters that I feel have been changed, and some characters that have been completely cut from the original. First up is Edna Turnblad. Edna's character really depends on who plays her and how they choose to do it. For example, in the 2007 version, John Travolta wanted her to be soft and sweet, in contrast with Harvey Feinstein's portrayal of the character where she has a raspy, smokery voice. In almost all iterations of this character, she is played by a man in drag, which stems from the original where John Waters cast drag queen Divine as Edna. This drag queen was the same inspiration for the character design of Ursula in Disney's The Little Mermaid. Up next is Motormouth Maybelle. The big change with Motormouth is the way she speaks. In the original film, she speaks almost entirely in rhyming couplets. In other adaptations, she does this for the Corny Collins show, but speaks normally the rest of the time. It's not so much a big character change, it's just a character trait change. Velma Von Tussle took the role of Tammy, Corny's assistant in the original, though she is the producer of the show instead. Velma becomes more villainous throughout the adaptations, which is shown by the way she treats other characters, especially in the audition section. Amber Von Tussle, at least in the 2007 version, becomes less mean, and is more a tool that her mother uses to relive out the glory days, which can be seen in the fact that some of her musical numbers and lines making fun of Tracy are removed from the 2007 version. Corny Collins. In the John Waters 1988 Hairspray, Corny is much more invested in the integration of his show and the network. In the musical, this role is given more to Tracy and Motormouth, though Corny is not against it. There's also a little aspect that is weird to me, which is the fact that it's implied that Corny is an alcoholic because multiple shots of him show him taking out a flask and then just taking a big old swig out of it. Weird, which is obviously removed from the other versions. So now we're on to some cut characters. Most of them are just unnecessary and they didn't really add anything to the original. So up first is Paddy Pingleton, Penny's dad. Like Penny's mom, he's racist, and that's about his character. Dr. Fredrickson is a psychiatrist that was hired to brainwash Penny. He's cut and they just make Penny's mom crazier. Frederick Von Tussle, Amber's father, is cut. They cut out the main reason that Fred was in it, which is the fact that he owned Tilted Acres. So without Tilted Acres, they didn't really need this character. And Tammy, Corny's assistant, was cut to give Velma more of a reason to be involved with the show. And that's it for cut characters. This section will be comparing cut and added musical numbers from the 2007 movie musical from the 2002 Broadway musical. The 2002 Broadway musical features 20 musical numbers, but the 2007 movie only has 18. 3 musical numbers were cut from the movie for various reasons. Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now was cut as the composers and directors couldn't find a way to make it fit within the cinematic style of the movie. Since it is sung by Tracy, Amber, and Penny, they would have to do a split screen, which they really wanted to avoid. The number The Big Doll House was cut due to plot changes. Since Tracy, the point of view character, isn't arrested, it was unnecessary, as The Big Doll House is sung when all of the women who are arrested are in jail. And the final cut number was Cooties. This song was most likely cut to help with Amber's character arc. The song was written by Amber to hurt Tracy's feeling and was the penultimate song in the stage musical, which doesn't jive with Amber's change of heart at the end of the film. The movie added 3 musical numbers to it too, though only 2 are in the actual movie. In both the original movie and in the stage musical, the characters do a dance called the Madison. The scene was replaced with a new number, Lady's Choice, which is a reference to a scene in the original movie, where Tracy and Penny go to Corny Collins' Lady's Choice dance. The second added number was actually not new to this... I don't know how I want to say this. It's not new exactly, because New Girl in Town was actually composed for the original Broadway musical, but was cut because it was deemed unnecessary. The 2007 musical used to showcase the talents on Negro Day, which is not done as much in the stage musical or the original movie. The final new number is Come So Far, which is sung during the end credits. Speaking of the credits, I should mention that Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now and Cooties were recorded for the credits, but not by the cast. Cooties was performed by Amy Allen, and Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now was performed by Ricky Lake, Marissa Winokur, and Nikki Blonsky, who all portrayed Tracy in the original film, the Broadway musical, and the 2007 movie, respectively. Though the plot and characters of John Waters' 1988 film Hairspray have changed through its musical adaptations, one thing has stayed the same: its message. Throughout all of the Hairsprays, it is shown that you need to love and respect the people around you as well as yourself. This message is shown through Tracy's interactions with other people, such as her mother, who is also a plus-size woman, and the students in detention. Tracy doesn't understand why people would judge them or view them differently. As the plot progresses, other characters like Penny, Miss Motormouth Maybelle, and Seaweed help Tracy to show others to love themselves. It's such an important message to understand that every person is worthy of respect, and you should be respecting yourself at the same time. It's unnecessary to put other people down just because they're different. I'm not very good at the ukulele, so I'm sorry, but Tracy Turnblatt, this one's for you. They came from way far out in outer space. She's hard to miss, and so they landed on her face. She's got cooties. She's just as friendly as can be. She's got cooties. She shows them cootie hospitality. Black, white, red, green, every color in between. Dresses like a circus clown, somebody oughta hose her down. Grew up in a cootie zoo, I bet a 2-ton mama's got 'em too. And that's for you.